Hello, this is Azumi Uchitani. Today's topic is mono no aware. This is kind of typical Japanese concept of aesthetics expressed or seen in Japanese literature, Japanese film, also Japanese art. There is no direct translation or equivalent expression in English. So today I'm going to share this beautiful concept of mono no aware, the concept of Japanese aesthetics. It literally means the sorrow of objects. So what does it mean? It is a bit like wabi-sabi, but this mono no aware comes from more the direct connection between our feeling and the object. So the difference between wabi-sabi and mono no aware is that mono no aware is expressed more with the feeling, and wabi-sabi is just descriptive. And mono no aware has more storytelling. So, for example, now I see the leaves of the trees in the garden, and they are actually, some of them are fine, some of them are already dying. And when I start just looking at them, staring at them, they are almost coming off from the stem. And I kind of feel not sadness, but experiencing the end of their life. In this sadness or like sorrow, there is a kind of beauty of experiencing and celebrating fleeting moments of our life and the nature. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. Then in certain moments of our life, really typical, even in any days, we come across maybe just seeing the raindrops or maybe some animals. If you see a lonely animal, you might also connect with them when develop some feelings. Also about the human relationship. Sometimes the love relationship or romantic relationship is not always rosy pink. And sometimes there is the heartbroken moments and sentiment or looking back into the past romantic happy time. And there is a kind of sentiment and sorrow. And we don't ignore it, but we go dive into that feeling and then connect with current moment of this empty moment and connecting and inviting this sorrow, sentiment, feeling. So connecting with expressing this sentimental moment, but not in a negative way, but also descriptive, aesthetically beautiful way. So this word, mono no aware, goes way back to 11th century when the word first romantic novel was created by Murasaki Shikibu, Tale of Genji, Genji Monogatari. It's 54 chapters of entangled love relationships of a prince. So in these stories and poems, mono no aware has been beautifully expressed. And in our modern films and literature, for example, Yasujiro Ozu, in his film, there are also beautiful moments of stillness, and actors are expressing their feeling and beautifully connected the background of nature or the weather or the objects. And you might see that mono no aware in certain moment of this film. Or also in modern literature, for example, Yasunari Kawabata, one of my favorite Japanese writer. In his novels, also in a descriptive scenery, he expressed the feeling of mono no aware aesthetically. So you can see in Japanese film literature. And also you can see it in art, but this mono no aware is more with the movement. So you can actually feel more from the literature or from the film in a storytelling way. And so how can we experience this? And how can we incorporate into our creative works? Especially if you're artist, creator, writer, filmmaker, this might be a nice a kind of element you could add to your own works. So first, as I always mention in other videos as well, we need to open our senses. And first, we have to open our senses, our 5 senses. Take a moment of silence. And when you are walking outside, or even when you are alone at home, sometimes you listening to the music, or playing the music, or just sitting, doing nothing, quiet moment. You might start feeling or imagining some moments in the past or in the current moment. And the feeling is actually what's happening now. And you start feeling this nostalgic, sentimental feeling. And you don't ignore that subtle feeling. It can happen anytime. So just to be aware of these subtle feeling, then you take a moment. You can do purposely to connect to that feeling, or during the course of the day, you might feel that feeling of sentiment and bit of sorrow. However, some beauty comes in because it's impermanent and it doesn't continue. So then you can describe that with words. You can describe with the color, movement, and you can incorporate into your own creative work. If you'd like to know more about Japanese aesthetic, there's also a video on wabi-sabi as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.